We all have our reasons why we are on this track. Oh, we all have our burdens, yeah, but we just keep on fighting and we never look back. Here we go, 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 let us heal and grow. You won't be alone, we're unstoppable. Don't be afraid to show what we're going for. This is what we know. Here we come back to life, we're still breathing. Standing up, everybody's gonna see it. Oh, all you need to know is that we're holding on. Even if we fall, we will rise up and we follow the path that we believe in. No, we're not gonna stop until we reach it. Oh, all you need to know is that we're holding on. We rise up from the dust and claim our throne. We rise up from the dust and claim our throne. We rise up from the dust and claim our throne. When you feel it's hopeless, when you think that you lost, oh, I will take your hand and we'll rise up from the dust. Oh, here we go, 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 let us heal and grow. You won't be alone, we're unstoppable.
Yeah, possibly. To change another data source. So we'll see how this one rolls. I did a little unlisted test to see how it'd work out, and it stayed as excellent for a while, and I'm watching the ping, so we'll definitely we'll hang out as long as it decides to hang out, I guess we'll say. I'll just start off by saying Cox Communications, and that is the real name of the company. They are definitely true to their name. So, yeah. Packet lost city on that ISP right now. Apparently, after this stream, I'll have to play tech support roulette with them. I know, because I just want to reboot everything and say, "Oh, it's fine now." So, how's everybody doing? Then we have just a few in here. I didn't send out the notifications again, and I planned it, but that was a whole nother deal. So hopefully it's better than it was before. We'll send out another thing and say it's working now. All right. So Powershell add-on. So I know we probably lost the one that was probably wanting to ask about the Zigbee bridge, and but that's I plan to do that anyway. So so what is the Powershell add-on going to do in Home Assistant? Let me get one of these screens. All right. And that was about it, I believe. We were going to have, oh, and the other one. Yep, here we go. Had all this set up earlier, but we closed everything. Okay. Definitely cool there. So in the previous stream, I'm not going to go over it. I did talk about how to do, and I know you can probably play some of that back. I did get a couple requests for some more written. I know they do have it in the the Tasmota page on the GitHub for doing the upgrading. We were talking about the integration with Home Assistant itself. Now it still does, I know there's some confusion with that, and you do need to be on the newer version. It is currently in the development version, because the major release of Tasmota is 8.5.1 right now. And so you do need to be on, I think it was 9.03. And I went through and showed, I had a Sonoff SV, and I went through and we had it on like 6.6 or 6.5, and went through this upgrade flow of things. So yeah, Jim, it actually is live, and I actually still see the green light on excellent connection. So, and no, this isn't try number 64. That's just me being a smart ass, like as always. But, so yeah, if we can see some screenshots, we can take a look at it. You know, the color temperature thing, I think there was some other fixes I did miss with that on I don't know if it's due to the 5-channel bulb, but actually it may have fixed, and I don't have the Amazon version of the voice assistant. I have the Google one, and I was able to, on some 5-channel bulbs, actually change to warm white to cool white via voice, which was an issue before, because typically when you asked it, hey, I want to set to cool white, it would make some pseudo white out of just the RGB, which would end up being like lavender white instead of actually using the white channels. But so I noticed that a couple days ago, and I was like, that's interesting. So I wanted to actually look to see what was happening, and maybe that did fix some stuff. I am using auto discovery in the latest version on those, so maybe there was some stuff I missed on that. But it could have been something in Home Assistant itself that possibly I missed. But for the integration on, I know there was another, there was a fix for, if I got the page here, I saw there was a fix on 117. They did a 117.1. I don't know if it's on here yet. 117.1. Yeah, look right here. I saw there was something about Eric did some stuff with bump HA Tasmota to 25. And it was, I looked at the issue, and it was, they were talking about refactor status sensor. I thought I saw something about a color somewhere. Maybe it was in here. Fix MQTT template light. I think that's what it was. Maybe that's the one I clicked on. So it may not have been just to, yeah, it said white value template. So I don't know exactly if that pertains to just MQTT lights, or does that also involve Tasmota or not? I don't know. But for the ones wanting to do this is, I talked with FL and Enrico. I know it depends on where you see his name. He did talk about that this is it's just the first step of it. So I know some people were, including myself, was like, I don't know if I want to use this just yet. One of the things I did find is, because once you come into, this is just my little developer VM of Hass.io or whatever they're calling it these days. But if you go into the integrations, and there's a Tasmota integration now, and it's not under MQTT, but it still uses MQTT. Let's see if I can get this out the way here, or if I need to be further over. I'm all off my game. So you don't have to do set option 19 to bring things in, and you can see this is that particular device, this I just called it Taz Node MCU sensors. And typically you are having to do the SO19. And I just did SO19 with no value. If you don't know, that just shows you what that command is set to. So this auto discovery is turned off. Well, as long as all you have to do is to make sure that you have MQTT set up for the particular device, and it's pointing to that, of course, that same MQTT server. And if you we go over, so it automatically just comes in. So if you change anything on here, like for instance, I went through and put I'll put a fake relay because I do have a, let me fix the zoom on this. This is what I have that little device on. It's just a Node MCU with just a little, I think it's just a little UV sensor for light. I have an LED. I don't have it configured right now. And then just a little capacitive touch button. So just to play around with, just to test some of this stuff instead of having to do like a full-blown device, and have, of course, since you can configure it and flash it through USB, you don't have to worry about, hey, am I going to brick something or whatever. So, yeah, I'm going to show the ZBMini. So I just want to go through this real quick on the configuration on there. So it does pull straight in, and I noticed that if you went through, I think, what pin do I have the LED on? I have that on D6. So let's go D6. We'll do PWM 1 and we'll save. And let's see if it updates. So we should, yep. So we got, let me get all of it together so y'all can see the screen too. So we do have just a standard, it's just a little LED, and I'm just doing PWM just to play around with. And the button should turn it all, well, I have it decoupled right now. So, yeah, see, because I was playing with it on last stream, we were decoupling that button on there and sending some MQTT messages based on that button. But it should come up in, you'll notice now, actually didn't have to refresh the page, but there it is. There's the LED straight into, so you can see, as you can add and change stuff on Tasmota, you don't have to pull things in and out, and just pops right in. So it looks like they did change. They have, I'm going to add this to Lovelace right quick. I just want to do entity cards. I'm just a straight shooter. Don't do a whole lot of stuff. So do they have, okay, so it just shows the IP address and if it was up or down right now. And yeah, and the UV index. So, electricity meter, I'll be honest with you, I don't know. It's they just swapped this to a smart one, but that's all gonna be proprietary, kept in. So to try, we'll jump back to that and we'll see if we can pull that stuff in. For what switch you recommend? There's no, yeah, that's tough on the EU variants. There's just not a whole lot of switches that I just don't have experience with them, because like one of the issues I have is I got a bulb that from Sonoff, but it's only 220 50 hertz, and of course doesn't work here, so I can't even use it, or even show it, which I thought was strange. A lot of bulbs come with dual frequency, dual voltage. So, but for instance, let me get the guy. This is, which one is this one? Oh, okay, this one's the, I'm gonna get this a little closer here so y'all can see. And I will fix the zoom and all that good stuff. So I've actually asked them while I'm fixing this. I've actually asked them if they were supposed to, but they said it probably 12 months ago that they were going to come out with a European version of their switches. And I have not seen or heard that yet. And unfortunately, from me looking on AliExpress and stuff, there's just not a whole lot of options for some EU-based switches, which is strange because it is a rather large market that just seems to be untapped, and the person that seems to be tapping it is Shelly. I mean, because they just going full ball to the wall of doing and selling stuff in that area. And I don't know if it's due to a lot of the no neutrals in that market, and that's possibly why. I'm not sure of that. I just don't know how everything is in all those different various countries. There's always the DIY side, but I'm not doing a dimmer. Yeah, that whole Atham thing, I've talked with them. Actually had samples of some Atham stuff. But I've upgraded several. They did some weird 2 meg and 4 meg. No dimmer. They did 2 meg and 4 meg builds of the bin file, which was strange. And I was able to upgrade several of them, but then several, and without any issue using OTA to it. But then other people had issues with it bricking the devices. And then so they sent me some instructions, and then so I updated the post, but then several people still had issues with it breaking the devices. And then one of the things I did I told them about out of the box, was if you really want some DIY devices that for ESP Home or Tasmota, is you really need to have that open pin header. And Shelly had on a lot of their devices. I know they kind of going the other way, which is unfortunate. But you don't have to use it all the time, but it just makes sense, especially on a bulb. So you want to swap over and do something to get them straight over, and if you don't have to worry about breaking anything, having it just pop open the diffuser and have the pin header, that would be awesome. And I guarantee if someone made a decent bulb, they could sell 1 or 2 bulbs with the pin headers, and I guarantee, and they would sell a ton of them, I'm sure. But it's just getting to the right person that can make them. So to the ZBMini, this is the Sonoff. I gotta find the link. Because I always want to let's throw the link in there right quick. I'll throw both of those in there. I already had that in the clipboard. Well, it didn't wrap right. There's this is that ZBMini, and it looks like it's gonna be actually not the here it is, this one. So I'm not sure. Showing for USD, they're around $10 plus shipping, I'm sure. And it's pretty close to what the Mini was. And I wasn't particularly fond of the Mini myself, just due to it just seemed like a missed opportunity they had. And this one, it had that weird antenna that was off to the side. I've actually saw somebody that shorted out their unit, their device by, I guess this got into something else. They could have really made something crazy here if they just put a small pin header over here and expose some other GPIO pins, and this could have made like an ultimate DIY device of like being able to add some like temperature sensors or LEDs or you know, a PIR sensor, you know, because I've done a lot of different projects with putting like PIRs on different light switches and stuff. They could have done something really cool with this, but it just seemed like a, and then they did that whole DIY mode that made it difficult to flash, and then they put these small little pin headers real close. I just kind of just went the other way. But in the Zigbee world, of course, you're not having to flash anything. It is fairly similar. And it does, I did look, it does have the same little like MGS21 or something like that. It's the same exact chip set that is on the Sonoff Zigbee bridge. It looks like they are sporting a 16 or 15 amp. It's hard to see here. I think it's 16 amp relay in there and the button, and it's the same exact terminals. I did like they did go a different color this time on the low voltage switch inputs. So let me fire this thing up right quick. And we will get it. I want to see if it would pair with the the Zigbee bridge in ZHA mode and not ZHA mode. And this is just that little, if you've seen some of the video, the Cliff quick test, which is nuts because they have like raised the price just tremendously for some odd reason on this thing. So but we'll go ahead and fire it up. And on the, I currently have a Zigbee bridge in straight Zigbee MQTT mode. And this is not tied into Home Assistant at this point the way it is. If you followed my little guide on basically where I stopped at, is if you followed this guide, the main, that mains power sheet, I'll show you. It's severely, they used to be around $30 to $40 US beginning of this year, and now they just jacked up the prices due to whatever excuses or whatever they can come up with. But basically I stopped, I'll show you here in a second. I stopped at, I did the OTA because you need to do that, and I stopped here because basically if you just stop at this location here and don't change the template and do not put on the TCP server and everything to do the ZHA, just because really in the ZHA mode, you're just doing like a TCP pass through to the chipset. So it just really makes the Zigbee bridge become just a wireless Zigbee chipset that you can put anywhere around your network. So I stopped there, and this is what you end up with. And the device I have is the, let's see, what is the name of it? Cliff Quick Test. Yeah. See how this is nuts. This is almost, it has even gone up even more. It's like $80 now for the EU colored one, or the color scheme with the US is $73. They were like $30 to $40. You can get them a little cheaper on Newark, And I'm sure that they have these other places. And this one always, it won't refresh the picture on me for some reason. There it goes. Yeah, and they're $54, which is crazy. But it is a very cool device. And if you haven't seen it before, it's basically, all it is you run a standard electrical cable to it and whatever voltage, and then there's little prongs in here, and there is a fuse, and basically when you have this opened, and the camera is doing some weird flicker of that, but that shows that there's power to it. But these spring-loaded teeth right here are not, so you could touch this all you want. They're not active because it's a very simple device. You can see here that prong, which is actually set inside there. So no, I know it looks deceiving, but my finger can't touch that prong. I would probably have to stick something way down in there. And those two prongs are hot on the left. And then when you close this, all it does is it connects with these prongs this side, which then energizes this side of things. And these are little spring-loaded teeth, and you just shove your wire in there. And so it's a real easy way to do like some bench testing, and it's pretty safe, I know. But definitely the cheaper method is, I know a lot of people opt for, is doing just taking like an old PC power supply and using like some Wago 221 connectors, and just take an old PC power supply or extension cord, cut off the ends, and throw it in there. It's just whatever you choose to do, just be careful and just double check, triple check that whenever you're messing with switches and stuff and mains, that things aren't, turned on and hot. So let me flip this guy back around, otherwise, so we can see it. All right. So I do appreciate y'all, the ones that did come back after the mess with the ISP. So let's see. We are back to here on the Zigbee bridge. So to actually add this, and again, this is just as, and I saw there was a question about 107. Well, remind me on that one. You say 117 or 107? To add stuff in Zigbee mode, this is not tied in. So this would kind of apply if you're using you're not even using Home Assistant, using different other pieces, and like different, like say if you're just using Node-RED, I'm pulling up the commands here, because they do have, it shows you straight through how to pair this stuff. I'm just not making this up. There's the Zigbee permit join is a simple command you throw on the console here, and it will go ahead and starts the pairing mode. And so since this Zigbee switch, the green light was blinking, it's already in pairing mode. It should pair up here. I may have to hold the button down, but sometimes you don't. It just depends on if the device is back in pairing mode. But it looks like it's not. I'll hold the button down. We'll see if we can get it paired up. Or it may make a liar out of me, right? All right, we turned it on. I did have it paired. I did try this earlier. So I'm wondering if it needs to forget. Okay, so we're in 1,002. I know there's like a 5-second hold. And it should reset. And then we'll go into ZB permit join again. And we'll see if we get something. We'll let it sit. So if you were, we talked about this earlier. If the auto discovery stuff is working well in Tasmota and Home Assistant, but I wouldn't go to, I'm not migrating all that stuff myself right now. If I had a light bulb or a dimmer or switch and it worked perfectly fine and I don't have any issues with it in YAML code right now, then I'm not going to fix it. Now, any new devices that I am adding to the network, say a light bulb, a switch, whatever, then I'm not going to bother going into the YAML code. So I'm just going to go in, throw it into auto discovery and call it a day. Now, this is so new. I have not done the, it doesn't want to pair up for some reason. I don't know if it's with trying to pair it with my other one, but I'm not going to go in and I guess jump to this right away. I may throw a couple of them in there just to see how it works. I mean, it is still, actually, when you do look on the docs, it does say it is in beta. So, I would just kind of hang tight and see what happens. So it's not paired up over there. I do not know why the ZBMini is not pairing up. I mean, that's the button you're supposed to hold. But it will not pair up with it. We'll just go ahead and restart on this. Starting over at Home Assistant, a new server. Should I change something on the Sonoff bridge? Was working on the old server. Can I just add it again via ZHA? I would go ahead and, because you're gonna have to repair everything. You're gonna need to go ahead and I would just add it in there because nothing's really saved in the Zigbee bridge in ZHA mode. But you're gonna need to re-add everything to your Home Assistant. And sometimes, as you can see here, when the sensors think they're paired and they're not, it becomes a pain. Yeah, and I do agree with Davin, I do prefer Wi-Fi, because this look right here. I do prefer Wi-Fi MQTT because it just works. I run a little different way of doing things where I know a lot of people think in the terms of Home Assistant is the middle of the hub. Well, it's truly, in my way of things, it's not. MQTT is in the middle. And MQTT is just another Docker container, and you can run MQTT anywhere, just about anywhere you want. And so everything in my home relies on MQTT, and Node-RED ties into MQTT, Home Assistant ties in, and Home Assistant's great for doing different states and stuff. I don't do a whole lot of automations, do all the automations in Node-RED. So MQTT is the master hub. And a lot of people always ask, well, you should be using ESP Home and API and everything. Well, that's a dependency on Home Assistant. What if there's some breaking change in there? Well, so I prefer to do things with just MQTT when I can. And I would actually get rid of Home Assistant before I got rid of MQTT if I had to make a choice for some reason. So, yeah. So it's just it just works. That's the thing. And whatever firmware you use, just the Wi-Fi stuff just works. And I've got over 110 Wi-Fi devices right now, and there's plenty of room left on 2 access points. So it's showing there's one parent device in there. I think that's actually this other button, I believe. But it's not actually, can we make, did it, that's actually that device. Can we make it forget that somehow? This is auto bind, battery voltage. Did this bind up finally? There's a route. See, there's a route error. I need to just nuke everything on here. How do we remove all the, forget all the devices? I know there's a command to just nuke them all, but we can do a ZigBee forget. Yeelight on multi-subnet does not work anymore. Really, Mark, if you really want to get deep into the ZigBee stuff and you do use a lot of ZigBee, then I think they are a good choice for you. I'm just having an issue with one of them here, but I'm going to see if I can get it to pair up on my other, if I can get this to forget. I need to start fresh with this because I was messing with it earlier. ZB. I know you can forget and reset everything. I gotta find the command. I just want to nuke everything. Setting device commands, low level commands. I know there was a total. I'm sure they put it at the bottom so nobody accidentally does the command. Nope. I know there was like a setup. There was like a new setup you could do. Let's see if we can get it to ZB for. We'll just do a ZB forget on this device, and then we'll see if there's any other devices. There shouldn't be. Yeah, it's ZigBee becomes. I guess it's not as bad as Z-Wave for me, but ZigBee is. Yeah, it's great for battery power devices. I'll say that. It's you can't. There's no point really to try. I know there's a bunch of different ways you can do stuff with like deep sleep and stuff. I think as all the efforts and everything, and look, this thing came back up, is all the efforts of trying to do all the, the battery powered deep sleep stuff, and it just, ZB permit join. It's just get a battery powered device and do something like, whether you can do Z-Wave, if Z-Wave works in your area, or you would do ZigBee or whatever it might be. This device does not want to forget this network, and it will not repair. So on the, it does not want to pair at all. Can it even pair with here? Let's just see. I got a ZHA we can pair with right quick on my production. If it'll pair up there. Yeah, Wise did not send, or does not do, I don't know if it's due to the frequency, because they are using 915, and I know like a lot of the stuff, like I think it's like 868 or something like that. I wonder if, because there's 915 is probably not usable in other countries, so I guess they just kept it for US. There has to be another. reset on this guy. Well, we may just forego that and mess with it. It does work. I did pair it up, but let's see. Yeah, I did see this here. The momentary rockers, it actually wants a full switch if you put it behind. So you can't change like the switch mode. So I'm with the, is there a better user guide? Well, there you go. Have a ball. Yeah, but it's all in Chinese, so. Factory reset. Long press until the indicator flashes and release. That's what I was doing. That is weird. That is really weird why it does not want to factory reset on me. Very strange. But hey, there's been stranger things, right? It does not reset. It's just blinking. Well, we'll mess with that later instead of. Yeah, so I prefer just to do just get a regular switch. And I know some people were talking about these earlier. They come pre-flashed, and like I say, I have had some issues, but they have some pre-flash switches, and they are an EU sized. Just do keep in mind. Now it does say late, and I wonder if they've actually fixed this. The 8.50. That was one of the issues they had with some people were trying to update those. They were getting bricked for some reason due to that flash size. I updated several of mine that I had, including the bulb, and it worked fine. So it just depends on what you have going on. So. Oh, so they were easy to. Yeah, I know they had the regular ESP12. Is it E or F? I can't remember if the one was out. The ones on the bottom. It looks like that TYWE3S. So, so I'm gonna abandon. I'll mess with that later. The stuff on the Zigbee bridge itself. I know they were. Look, we got some trolls here. Let's see. We can put user in timeout. There you go. Yep. It's always fun to troll the trolls. It's fun. Didn't miss a whole lot. Missed the nonsense from the ZBMini. Did not want to factory reset. So, and we messed around with the Tasmota Integration Home Assistant itself. The switches on which one? The Atham ones? So yeah, the Atham ones. If you are interested in those, I had initial issues, so I'm kind of neutral on whether they're good or bad. I know some people had some support issues with them. Some people had good. Maybe they're getting things fixed. I don't know. You're gonna have to prove it to me. So that's kind of your thing on that. If you want to dig through those, they do come pre-flash with Tasmota. Just had some update issues before, so. I'll put it to you straight. So I guess what else? Because I know we had a bumpy start with trying to do the live stream and stuff with the ISP issues, and then apparently now the Sonoff ZBMini does not want to play nice together. I did have, this was something else. I did play with this, but then there was an issue. Is they do have a new Sonoff Wi-Fi bulb, but it's only 220, 240 AC, 50 hertz. And of course, me in the US, this does not work. I thought maybe it would, but it does not work at all. So it won't even come up. So they do have that bulb, and I don't know if it's ESP8266. There's no, actually I do have a picture of it. Look at that, Davin. I'll go ahead and approve yours. Yeah, there's always going to be people that are jealous of you, right? Not hate you. Nobody hates anybody in this world. So it does. This is that bulb. If you're curious, if you wanted to look at it, I had to pop the top on it. It does have it. This is a SM2135. And I remember that being like an Action Tech or something. There was a few different bulbs that had that in Tasmota. Now there's no screws. And so I think this might just be held in. And it might just be held in by this silicone. I haven't pulled this out. It looks like these are pins here. If y'all want to take a screenshot and maybe Google some of these model numbers as maybe a rebuild, rebrand of somebody else's, because I did not find it on Sonoff's FCC papers, but maybe because it's not a US bulb, they didn't have to pass it through FCC. That's true too. So yeah, they did have another filament looking bulb too, but it was the same issue, and unfortunately can't use it. Yeah, it would probably be more expensive to me to ship it to somebody than it would be for the bulb itself. What else we have? What else? Y'all just wanted, if y'all have some other questions on Tasmota stuff, there was didn't we go ahead? You didn't like the My 92X? Actually, those are awesome. I think that you can put, I've had like, you can get those, you can put down literally, you can set not the 1 to 100, but to 255, you can set the dimming value to just 1, a decimal of 1 out of 255, and that thing still shows up and does not flicker. I have that issue with some of the PWM bulbs are crazy. They don't let you, they just start flickering. What'd you have issues with in the My 92X? I know those don't have warm white. So if you're one of those people that really love warm white, then yeah, I can see that being an issue. A Zigbee lock work with HA. They were talking about that the other day, off of one on Woot. Where was, maybe Patrick, and I know it was like a Yale lock or something like that. I'm looking back on Discord because I remember them talking about it. It was on Woot. I'll pull it up once I get the link. There it was. This one, Amazon Zigbee locks. I don't know if they're still on sale or anything. Yeah, the quick set. I'll just post this link. I don't really do the whole lock thing. I would like the lock state, but I don't want the whole lock thing. I'm just not there yet. We're not there yet. It does say, I know it says Amazon Cloud Cam required and key, I guess, for some of the stuff, but it's supposed to be Zigbee. I know some people had some experience with them and were talking about it in, let's see. See, Woot doesn't say a whole lot what they are, if they're actually Zigbee or not. it just talks about the stupid Amazon features of being able to unlock for the Amazon people to come take all your shit out of your house. So, I don't know. Oh, so you got one, Patrick? Yeah, I'm kind of the same on that, Davin. That garage door, you can lock the other door on that, but I guess you'd also have to have a garage door to have a garage door opener as well. So, when you couldn't adjust the channels in Tasmota with the colors. Okay. We will shut off of this one. And down to Tasmota. The picture said Z-Wave. Yeah. See, Z-Wave not going to work too well for me. They were saying Zigbee or something. Maybe that Woot did change the it may have just been one sale or something like that. So yeah, I'm not going into the Z-Wave stuff. 900 megahertz is a mess for me. But Y still works great though, which is strange. Maybe they have something else. So what's up, Cyber? Yeah, we're back again. Had to doing the hotspot thing on the entire network, so I'm sure my LTE provider is enjoying it. So, but hey, I get unlimited. Any Tasmota supported picture frame? I'm not sure that one. Not really sure. So I know a lot of people have kind of issues with. I always turn off some of these rules. And let's see what else we had. Set option 73.0. Okay. So it should be able to turn the light off and on. Yep. And if we look in integrations and Tasmota, probably got to refresh this page. Oh, nope. So if you remove stuff, well, there it is. It's still there. So it should be able to turn. Yeah, there we go. So I know a lot of people have talked about like, hey, how do I send MQTT messages and I figured this would be a quick little thing that you don't have to do any rules with this stuff. Oh, hey, Jonathan, I do appreciate it. Thank you, sir. We're off our game a little bit here as we've had several different failures, but we're going to try to get back onto it before the end of the stream. Maybe I'll try to do, if my ISP will actually play nice, I'll try to do another earlier one for the other time zones, maybe Saturday or Sunday if we can do that. So if you have a button and it says buttons will be added, I thought this was a cool feature of the integration. If the button is on an automation trigger and delayed, just like my day, but that's fine. So if you do set option 73 and you do SO73.1, and that's going to decouple that button. And so this is just that little capacitive touch button. And if you press the button, you'll notice on the console you get action single. If you hit it twice, you're going to get double. And the default for hold is 4 seconds. So now you can change that, but you'll get that action hold as well. Now you'll notice I'm pushing the button that that's not turning the LED off. So if that was tied to your light switch, then it's not going to do it. So, but the cool part of that is because of all the multi-press is now that once you have it configured, you can go to automations And without doing any YAML code or rules or whatever, here's button 1, do something when button 1 is double pressed. Well, if we did double press, then we could turn something else on and off or something like that. And that was pretty cool, being able to just go in here and tie it in. There's a trigger, and we do double press, and we'll say, I'm not very familiar with this GUI. I'm normally a Node-RED person, so I don't do a whole lot of, I guess you could do call service. I know you do, no, I'm used to doing call services, and you do like light, but shouldn't they have it just built in? Fire event, condition, what is fire event? So this is where my ADD kicks in, because I just want to start dragging stuff around and stop picking things in drop down boxes, and I'm just more of a Node-RED person, I guess. Let's do light toggle, name of entities to turn on. Yeah, we'll go ahead and do this. We'll do that light Tasmota. That's the one there, and then we'll save it if that works. Do you have to turn on the activate? Okay, enabled. And automations. Okay, let's see if it does. Nope. Apparently I did something wrong. See? Told you this is not my thing at all. Which is why I prefer the whole. Oh, I'm doing double. Must be picking it up for some reason. Yeah, look, it does work. It's just not. I guess I don't know if maybe it's something with the automation should work. There's the double press. I didn't put that in there. It did that. There's no condition. It just does a toggle. It seems very simple. And it should be picking it up. That's very strange. And you can see it's doing it. But it does not do it. Yeah, maybe a bug. I'll have to check with FL on that one and see what's up. Maybe it's just that third failure of the thing, right? We try to show something. So I did have something that I do want to actually show that I know works. And I know I get this question a lot. Is how do you upgrade all of your stuff in one shot for Tasmota or Tasmota? It all sounds the same to me. So if you're not familiar with it, and I know I talked about this in the other one, but hey, everybody doesn't watch, which I totally get. I'm not going to watch live streams after that aren't live, and because I just want to fast forward through sometimes. You know. So if you haven't messed with Tazma Backup, and yeah, we are going to do just a few devices. I'm going to drop the link in here because not everybody knows what Tazma Backup is. Hey, Don, I do appreciate it. Thank you, sir. So Tazma Backup, I think Patrick and Dan this was their project. I think Patrick kind of ran with it. There's a bunch of different ways to install it. And so you can install it via this Home Assistant Supervisor, whatever they're calling it these days, Docker Compose, regular Docker. You can do it raw. Everybody should be able to install it. And it's pretty cool being able to, if you go down, you can either have it scan for your devices via IP address and IP address range, or you can just do MQTT, kind of like a discovery. And it will pull in all your devices. You hit save. And the beauty of this is it does not constantly, like Tasmo Admin or even TDM, constantly does not beat on your devices. It's just static. It's a static page for the most part, unless it's doing the automated backup, say if you have like a daily. But the really cool thing I like about it, it's simple, it's to the point. I have a bookmark to it in my browser, and it's just straight, and it's all my list of all of my Tasmota devices. And you can see I have 68 of them right now. And you can sort by whatever you got settings, it's pretty simple. But the cool part is you can pop in here and go, hey, I want this one. There you go. Patrick's talking about the calls on it. And you can pull up all your Tasmota devices, jump straight to the GUI. Hey, I want this one. And so you can jump straight into how you want, if you want to go mess with that device yourself. And plus you can back them up, and then do automated backups of the settings on them. So pretty cool little thing. If you're not using Tazma Backup, you should. It's free, it's small, and you'll actually like it. So for doing the upgrades I use a thing called TDM. So let's do GitHub TDM. It hasn't been updated in a while. I don't know if they have another branch. No, I don't see. View all branches. No, I don't see. But it works. It uses Python, and there's a GitHub to it, so it's open source. Hey, if you want to fork it and add a bunch of stuff to it, hey, go right ahead. Or do pull request, whatever. Like one thing, I don't see it using multiple group topics. And it does take a little bit to load up, and I won't be able to scrunch the screen down because I have my stuff zoomed for here. Yeah, now, Tazmo Admin, I don't want to hate on it totally. It's fine in doses. I'll say it's fine in doses. I don't leave it running all the time. You can leave it installed, but stop the container or service or whatever it is, and just especially during upgrades and stuff, it's because it's constantly beating on them. Yeah, we can look at which change log, Jonathan? Oh, yeah, with the support PWM dimmer. I think the Tazmo admin would need to be switched to give you an MQTT option. Maybe scan them with HTTP and then switch to MQTT. HTTP on these little ESP8266s just suck. But yeah, that Reolink E1, I do like that Reolink E1 Pro. That was one of the giveaway that I did previously, was the E1 Pro Zoom. It's the one, because the Pro just has PT, which is fine for an indoor camera, but it does have RTSP out of the box, no flash in it, and the PTZ controls work in like Blue Iris and different Motion Eye and whatever that has PTZ controls. So in TDM, is what I've done is, this is like an active. It's active. It uses MQTT. It does not use ESP82. I'm sorry, ESP. It does not use HTTP. But the cool thing is you can come in here and do firmware, and you can. This is how I upgrade stuff. And I have done it before, but now, when I had like 20 devices, but now I have over 60 something. I haven't done the Docker on that, Stone. It might not be a bad idea to mess around with that. I don't do all of my devices at once anymore. I'll do like in different batches. Well, one of the things I did talk about, and it's a cool way to do it, is now that you have, and I'm going to pull up this device here. And when you double click and you open up, this is the actual console. And it looks, it's all white. You can see the exact console of that particular device. So if I wanted to come in here and type commands to it and see the IP address to it for some reason, that's 184. Here's the exact console of it. And so you can see that now, if I can find TDM again, it's the exact console. You can see it did that state, and then it did the result. And these other these other commands up here are actually TDM polling it. But you can see it doesn't poll all the time. But what I did is if you have multiple group topics, and I have a group of ones set to, hey Morton, thank you sir, or man, or whatever it may be. I'm probably gonna screw up names, so don't hate on me too much. So if you have, I set a different group of called alphas, and it's really about 5 or 6 devices. And I went through and set a group topic 2, you have up to 4, of alphas. So that allows me to do, and I'll show you kind of in real time, is publish command alphas upgrade space 1. And so any device, now if you wanted to be dangerous, if you wanted to do it to all of your devices, you could put Tasmotas instead of alphas, and that would send the upgrade 1 command straight to all of your devices. So if I want to do it with just 1, and say I want to come in here and I'm going to do it just to 1. I'm going to do upgrade space 1. And that's the same as you going into the console, going to firmware upgrade, and then hitting on the OTA, you hit, I don't know if it's OK or start or something like that. And it will go ahead and pull the OTA from the OTA URL. Now, I am using a local Nginx web server, but if you had it set to, the regular OTA stuff for Tasmota, it would pull those over the internet. So, but the cool part about it is it's simple to do. And so if I go in here, I should be able to see that now this device is upgraded to 9003. Pretty simple. Yeah, Will, I tried it, 63 other times? No, I was just being a smart ass on that one. Finally had to switch to a different ISP to do it off of Hotbox. Why am I thinking Hotspot? So the cool thing about what I want to show you how I'll do this is I had those alphas. Well, I'll just go ahead and publish to alphas. And I think one of them is this actual power supply. But we'll just do upgrade 1. And you could use anything you want to send out. And you can see that, hey, it got the upgrade command. Now, I should see several devices go offline. Like this device, you see it went offline. This one went offline. The four-year went offline. The guest light went offline. Now, look, they're starting to come back. And I should see them. And it automatically refreshes. And you can see additional versions of 903 popping up in my console. And this is my way of doing things, of doing some upgrades, because if I'll do an upgrade, I'll have like those 5 or 6 devices, and I'll push that one command out there. And it's a mixture of stuff from like power monitoring plug, a light switch, an LED strip, another one with like 5 relays, and that kind of do a mixture of things. And that way I can test the new version. I'll let it ride for a few days. And then I'll be honest with you, I go through while I'm watching something else on YouTube or TV or whatever on the computer, and I'll just go through and just have and do this. And really just, it's mindless of I'll have it in my clipboard, and I'll just have this in my clipboard and send over and pick a few random ones like this and just send them over. I've been using this version, so I'm fine. And I'll just send a few random ones over and find and let it upgrade. And I have it sorted by version. And so then they'll just go ahead and upgrade and do their thing. So it's pretty simple. And now it's not like as easy as like ESP Home, where of course you got that dashboard where you can go through and just hit, push to all of them. But that would probably take a long time if I had like 60 devices on ESP Home. I'd have to compile all of them and send. It'd probably take a while. So, but yeah, you can see it. I've upgraded a bunch of stuff of 903 just sitting here. So everybody kind of has their own little way of doing things. And I know a lot of people, I've heard them they'll go open a bunch of tabs and have a bunch of tabs strung across the screen and go farmer upgrade and hit start upgrade and do all this. Or they'll push the files. They'll do the old way of pushing minimal and then trying to push, and it's just a pain in the butt to do it that way. No 20-core Home Assistant server. I think I'm 12 core. I think I'm trying to remember. Yeah, I'm trying to. I think yeah. So I guess you could say, was it true 6 core, but and then with the hyper threading, it's I guess they call it 12, but yeah. It definitely does not need it. But I mean, it does make, this is a VM of one I test with. It does make stuff fairly quick for things, but Oh, look there, Will. So you got that jet engine in the basement. See, I can't have those basement things here. Can't do that here. So for what videos? So I wasn't planning on doing something a whole long. I just wanted to see if this would work for doing as a backup if my ISP decides to take a dump again and do stuff over hotspot with the whole network. And there goes your internet. Well, it's still showing excellent. So, yeah, it was Morton. It was rough. We had a rough start from the whole ISP issues. I think I stopped and started 4 different times, and then of course the ZBMini didn't want to play along. So, yeah. I did see the ping time jump up there for a second, Patrick. I'm not sure what that is, but that's. Hey, it's still showing excellent. It's been this good on hotspot. I'll roll with it. So. So I will try to, as I mentioned, I know I don't get a whole lot of time to do day ones for other time zones, and we tried to do it with, but ISP issues. The quick command, really I haven't played with the quick command yet. I just don't do a whole lot with the GUI. This one's just my temporary one. Not temporary. This is kind of what I just have a couple switches. I don't use it that often. I use it during live streams because I don't use a lot of automations and voice control because I don't want to set off y'all's voice control. So. But, yep. It's all right. If anybody didn't have any questions, what you want to mess with, press C. Yeah, you see, y'all can teach me. We'll look at it right quick. You said press C. Is it just C? Oh, so you can jump through, reload automations, reload. Now that would be cool. The what's up, Whack 2020? It's definitely been a whack day, and you got it right. The 2020 Whack 2020, with the whole good old storms we've had. Yeah, so that would be cool. I do like the quick being able to restart the server and reload stuff, because like I did the quick stuff on the side here, but I got tired of digging through it. Like integrations, I got tired of going to configurations, integrations, because they kept changing. So I put integrations here, I put MQTT devices here, I put server control here. Don't use these other ones a whole, no, this is a little test VM anyway. But I would probably, if I could, if it let me, will it let you move developer? Let's see, it won't let you. Will it let you move developer tools up here? No, it won't let you. Okay. So I wish it let you move developer tools, because I would want to have it, like move developer tools like up right below server control, because then it'd be perfect. Overview, integrations, MQTT, server control, developer tools. Be cool. So, yeah. Is there any other ones you can do other than just these? Can you do like MQTT? See, now I can't. See, that would be cool. Like, hey, do publish, because I want to do a publish to MQTT. What's E? Entity. Okay, entity filter. That's entity. Let's see, something I actually have. There's that light. Okay, so that pulls up quick. That's that little LED on my desk. What is server control? That's just jump straight to. So I got tired of doing this, of having to go configuration, and then I'm like, where did they move it to this version? Oh, here it is now, server controls. So I get tired of looking for stuff. Yeah, that's cool. So, yeah, see, I got tired of like looking for MQTT stuff. So like instead of going to integrations, MQTT devices, well, I just have it straight right here, MQTT devices. How do we add it? I did actually show that in, let's see. Let me pull it up. It won't paste here, but I'll put it in my Discord. I'll put it in the Discord here. That way you can copy and paste it out. I didn't make this. Someone else did. Let's see. Copy. And we'll throw it in general. Paste. And I'll pull it up on the other screen here once I paste it. So where's my screen so I can see? Here it is here. If it'll let me do the bottom of it. Just throw it in your configuration YAML, and it did wrap this one, but I just put the here's server control, and then I went to the material design and found what was a decent icon. So I did cog transfer. I just went to search for it. I think it's material design. It's just material design icons. Is it that one? Nope, it's this one. It is materialdesignicons.com. And I just went through and searched for some stuff that made sense. And so that would pull up, and then the ones that are easy links, they're pretty quick, they're easy to do, like server control. And all you got to do to get those links is just hover over. Too many windows open. Is actually go to it. So configuration, then see, I can't find it right now. Server control. And if you don't, let me pull this up so you can see it. It's off the screen. So see, it says server control here. It said, server _ control. You just copy that shortcut, and then you may have to go and play with it. And then the stuff for like MQTT is then just do kind of the same thing. Is go into your integrations, and then here's that device. If you right click it and copy the link address, you can see it has that crazy code at the bottom, and then you can put that in there, and it'll go in there, and you put that straight in your. Now, if you already have a panel custom in your configuration YAML, don't duplicate that, but you can go put that in your configuration YAML and then restart it, and boom, they'll pop up. And then you can use that feature of where you click and hold on the thing up here at the top left, and you can go through and change the order of, you can cut these off, or you can hide them. Like, I didn't want to see all these, and you can, drag the order around so you can set the order you want of your little bar on the left. So, yeah, I don't use HASS.io either. I use straight just Docker core. So, yeah, and it's still, I thought, hey, this is not going to work, but this is straight, Docker core right here. You see, I don't have a supervisor at all, and this works fine. So, yeah. Yeah, I have it. I don't, that's the configuration. What file do you edit for that? That's the configuration YAML file. They're just main configuration for Home Assistant. Actually, you are right, Avery. I'm missing out on some of the breaking changes. I've been running Docker core for probably 2 or 3 years, and I know I missed out on some of the MQTT issues they had. I know people were calling it MQTT Geddon. I missed out on that. I run a bunch of other Docker containers that are not even in Home Assistant at all, and I do integrations with them and stuff. And yeah, so I'm my own supervisor. It makes it very easy to roll back. Like, for instance, let's see. If there's an issue with, like, I'm going to drag it over there. There's a update waiting on my production Home Assistant. I'm on 1.16 right now, and I'm not going to move. I'll move when 1.18 comes out. But if there is an issue, for some reason, it's stupid simple. I don't have to worry about snapshots. I don't have to worry about any of that. I just go through and, hey, I want I don't want latest. I'll go through and just change the tag and change it to 1.164. Hit save, boom, it pulls the tag, boom, I'm back to my version. I run some other containers for like Duplicati and Crash Plan, and it backs up all of my stuff automatically, so I don't even mess with snapshots. So it's definitely, I do prefer this method. It's a power user one, and I will say, because of Unrated allows me to have a GUI for Docker that's probably even better than what you can have in HASS.io. There's only a couple different things I say I probably missed out on, but for the most part, I have no issue. So I have a VM. I tried the HASS.io VM. It blew up on me like 2 or 3 times. I finally just did a Debian install. So yeah, I'm on the no list of, let's see. I'm talking about this. I'm on the no list. So when I come in here, it tells me I'm running an unsupported installation, which I don't know why. They say they support Debian. It's the latest Debian, but it still says it's unsupported. So, but whatever. So, Yeah. Well, I think everybody has to worry about rolling back to an older version. From a data point of view. If it doesn't work, it doesn't come up, I just hit restore on the on the data folder from, it does it through different time. I'll just pick a time and date and roll back to it. I've had to do it before. It's not a problem. So, but then it allows me to do I can have multiple versions running. Like I have 2 versions pointing to the same MQTT server. I've got 2 or 3 versions of Node-RED on separate ports, and they all play fine together. It's like I have a dev Node-RED on my production, and then a production Node-RED on my production, plus Node-REDs in other places. So it allows me to do a lot of testing and stuff without having to step on things and worry about it. So, it does tell you the latest. Why is it unsupported? Oh, click on the links. So what's the Docker configuration? I don't know. I'll mess with it. That's interesting. Why it does tell you now. I did go through and made sure it had all the latest packages on Debian, and it still flipped out on me. So, yeah, I will say Hash.io is awesome because I can go to someone and say, "You want to run it? Here's your SD card. Throw it in your Pi. Boom, you're done, and you're not having to deal with all that command line stuff." So, yeah. One Docker cannot talk to. I have not had that issue, Stone. I have a bunch of Docker containers and they all cross. So, yes, it has outgrown the Pi. Unless maybe you're doing Pi 4 and doing like SSD boot on the Pi 4. So, yes, definitely. I went from Docker to VM while you're streaming Hasso from. It did not come after. Yeah. So I had issues with the VM, and that's why I don't run it as production. And it's just though I started version 0.5 something, I think, and I didn't even know what Hash.io was, and it was just accidentally installed Home Assistant through the Docker container stuff. And in Unraid, and hey, I pulled it up, and I'm like, hey, look, it found all this stuff on my network. And that's before they had all that onboarding. And that's how I kind of got into Home Assistant. So, I guess I'm not having that issue, Stone, because I can, yeah, you're right. You have to map, if you want to share file systems between containers, you do need to map it on the host system. So you'd have to map both to the same. Depending on how you do the Docker setup, if you have different IPs, yeah, I do believe that is correct with the security if you have different IPs in there. But if you do run them as the same as just on a different port, they're fine. That's what I do for the most cases. So, Unraid plugin for backup Dockers. I use there's a plugin. Let's see. There's a plugin that's on the community support ones. It's going to be slower because my wonderful slower internet. There's one that says CA backup and restore app data, and that's how it'll automatically stop all of your containers, and then it'll automatically back everything up, does it into like a gzip file. There's just a bunch of settings in there you can do. Yeah, Docker, that's Docker auto update. That's auto update Docker. I have some Dockers auto update. Let's see. I'll pull up. the app data, restore app data. Hopefully it won't have any, I don't think there's anything in there at all. If it'll ever pull up on me. I don't know if it's trying to scan it or whatever. But there it goes. So it'll pull up, there's a bunch of settings in here, and you could even schedule it, the frequencies, and set up for backing up all of your stuff. But I also have, for offsite, I pay like the $10 a month or whatever for the Crash Plan Pro, and automatically backs up offsite, and it does like stored history and stuff, and it just backs up everything on my server. But I've got like several terabytes of data up there. So IoT link. That's not I didn't mess with what is IoT link? Oh, yeah, no, I haven't messed with that one. I guess I'm not controlling Windows too much. So the only other MQTT one I've been messing with is the Neolink stuff, but is for unencrypting some of the cameras that are locked on Reolink. But that's just that's a different thing. I'm working with a guy in there and trying to get MQTT straight into some of the cameras. So that would be pretty cool. But yeah, I'm not trying to start I really I enjoy the way Home Assistant is, because it fits everybody. If you don't want to do Node-RED, do Home Assistant automations. If you don't want to do Home Assistant automations, do Node-RED. If you don't want to do MQTT, hey, do ESP Home. Or, you want to do ESP Home and MQTT, go ahead. You want to do the Tasmota, MQTT, whatever. You can do it however. And there's so many different ways you can do things. And then you can run it so many different ways, which is nuts. So I really enjoy that it kind of fits everybody, because there's no right or wrong way to run this. And it allows you to do, there was a guy I was talking about earlier. He had automatic failover of his servers in like an array where it would if something went down, his Home Assistant would be down for 20, 30 seconds and then be back. That's pretty cool. So, but all right, well, everybody, I know we were just doing a little test thing here, and I do appreciate you hanging out with us. So, but if y'all got any other questions and whatever, I did post the Discord for that other one earlier and we'll see if before I was hitting end stream on OBS, and then it would cut me off mid-word. But then I know I'm going to try to hit end stream, well, it's that way, on the actual YouTube GUI, and then we'll see if it doesn't cut me off midstream. I just don't, they've changed everything in the way the streaming is. So, yeah, we'll try to do another one during the day. Did your fiber optic cables get wet? Yeah, it stopped the gumbo from going through the fiber optic streams. So we only had, what, five hurricanes in Louisiana this year? So it's been a wonderful 2020. So, all right, well, y'all take it easy, and y'all take care. We'll just let it wait. We'll wait till it spools out. Come on, it's snowing. It's flip-flops and t-shirt weather.